back to another edition of History in Your Own Backyard. I'm Susie Selleck, and today we're in Madison, Indiana at the Jefferson County Courthouse, and I'm here with the County Commissioner, Robert Little. Robert, thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming to Jefferson County.
It has been a pleasure so far, but let's talk about when this courthouse was first built.
Okay, the original structure was a two-story log dwelling, was built in 1811. It was replaced in 1853 by a brick structure, and in 1859 that structure burnt, and this structure that is here now took its place at the cost of $36,000.
$36,000. All right. Now, has it always been this exact design, or has that changed over time?
No, they've had some issues with fires. There's the one in 59, and in 2009, May the 20th, I believe, we had another fire, and it pretty well consumed everything, the top floors, and they had to relocate on Main Street to a bank while this was renovated and rebuilt. So it has changed somewhat. The walls and stuff is a little bit different inside, but the outside structure is virtually the same.
Okay.
And it started in a gutter where they were doing remodeling in 2009, and it spread to the belfry, and from there on it was very ugly.
Wow. We were talking a little bit prior to, can you tell me the story with the bell that's outside that used to be up in the bell tower?
Yes, it was up there. It's a bronze bell. It was made in Cincinnati, forged in Cincinnati, and I believe it was 1835, I'm not for sure, but of course it couldn't be put back up. It weighs like 3,500 pounds.
Yeah.
So we had it cleaned, and it is outside in, we call it the belfry, and it's on display.
Awesome. Now, is there a new bell in the bell tower, or is that
No.
here?
The bell tower was put back, but it's, of course, a new structure, and it was, set independently by a crane.
So the bell weighs in a little over 3,000 pounds. How much did that cost?
It was purchased for $742 and change in 1855, and it was cast by the West Troy Foundry in Cincinnati, Ohio, so just 45 miles up the river from us.
So have there been any famous people to come through here?
Believe it or not, Bobby Kennedy, when he was campaigning for president in 1968, was on the steps out here on the Jefferson Street.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but they did the film Some Came Running.
Yeah.
And that was Martha Heyer, Frank Sinatra, Shirley MacLaine, and Dean Martin. And they did a lot of filming on the Jefferson Street, Main Street, North Jefferson area. So possibly they could have been in here. I don't know, but that's part of our claim to fame also.
I like it. Now, did that disrupt the town at all, or were people just kind of excited to have them in?
Oh, yeah. When they filmed, there would be people all over Main Street.
Watching.
And I was actually an extra in that. I think I was 9 years old at that time. So.
Fun tidbit.
On Jefferson Street when they had when Shirley MacLaine got shot, so I'll always remember that. That was a fair set up on North Jefferson Street at that time. Of course, the streets all changed since then.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Good story.
They filmed the movie Madison,
Okay.
which goes back, and it's ingrained with the hydroplane racing, which has been a part of this community forever. And Jim Caviezel played Jim McCormick, who was the winner in the Miss Madison in the 1970 Regatta Governor's Cup.
Right on the Ohio River.
Right on the Ohio River.
Which you guys have a stellar view of from at least the street that I saw earlier. Is that correct?
Yes.
that is the Ohio, right?
Yes.
How many rivers can you have here? That's awesome.
It's the Ohio River, and we have festivals there throughout the summer. There's not a better venue in Indiana to have an event than on that Ohio River.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So, are there any other stories that I haven't, I haven't asked you the specific question, but are there other stories that you might have, that relate the courthouse to the community, that kind of thing?
Well, before the first courthouse was built, the family by the name of Rikers, they settled all the Rikers Ridge area, which is east of here, actually built Dugan Hollow. But like in 1804, the Indians attacked their family, killed several of them, and captured 2 of their children. And at the evening wore on, they came and actually camped on this spot where the first courthouse was built.
Do you know whatever happened to those children? I mean,
they were held for like 18 months and then supposedly reclaimed later on.
Wow.
But the Rikers didn't come back to this area until 1809, and then the rest is history.
Robert, can you tell me a little bit about the safe?
There's a safe in the treasurer's office, which is on the first floor, and it was actually brought in through a window when it was built. The current treasurer still uses it, and it's a fixture that's going to be there because there won't be any way to get it out.
I know from the outside, it seems like this isn't quite 3 stories, but it is. Why is that?
Well, when the second floor was added, the ceilings are actually lower than the first and the third floor. So if you stand out front and look at it, it only looks like it has 2 stories, but in essence, there are 3.
Everybody loves a good female empowerment story. Can you tell us a little bit about the female sheriff here?
Yes, we had a sheriff. His name was Charles Eaglin, and he passed away at the age 56, I believe, and his wife, Sarah, assumed his role, and she filled out his term as sheriff. So she was the first, and at this time, the only female sheriff Jefferson County's ever had. But we do have some relatives of her that are employees in the courthouse now, Carl Eaglin being one of them.
Still here today.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, can you tell us about the Liars Wall?
Yes, it's the wall out here on the west side of the courthouse. Excuse me, it runs north and south on Jefferson Street. And that's where the farmers would gather and tell their tales. And it's my understanding some of those tales were like fish story. They really got stretched to the limits. So that's where it reflects back to the Liars Wall.
And are we in a judge's chamber right here, right now?
No, we are in the circuit court. And it used to have wallpaper on the ceilings, which was popular in that Victorian era, but when they rebuild it, it's put back conventional.
Thank you for telling me that. I love that you've seen me just not being able to stop looking up, because this is still
it is gorgeous.
This is a gorgeous structure.
Yes.
I still would have liked to have seen, the wallpaper from the Victorian era, but this is quite lovely in and of itself. So I understand that there was a famous president who's come through Madison.
Yes, President Hoover came through when they had the Ohio Valley Improvement Association.
What do you see here for the future in Madison?
Nothing but greatness. I mean, we have, my understanding, more buildings on the historic registry than any other town or community.
In all of Indiana?
Yes.
Impressive. I can see why the future looks very bright here for Madison.
It's a great place to come and live and work and raise your children, and we have the same issues that every other community does, but it's a wonderful place.
Yeah, well, I've enjoyed my time here and my time with you, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you. I've enjoyed everything with you too.
Thank you for watching another edition of History in Your Own Backyard. Today we were in Madison, Indiana at the Jefferson County Courthouse, hanging out with the Commissioner, Robert Little. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here and doing this documentary and showing people what a wonderful structure and the history we have here in Jefferson County. Thanks again.
Yeah, it's been our pleasure. Remember, travel slowly and stop often. Bye for now.